What's up, you guys? I'm just working out a little technical stuff at the moment, so just give me a second, because I'm not in my normal location. So let's see how this works. All right, last one before we start. And no, Killmonger, I'm not talking all Spawn today, dude. I don't have time for that shit. I don't have that kind of channel. Told you, talk to Todd McFarlane. He'll talk to you about Spawn all day, all week.
Got a nigga shedding tears, reminiscing on my past years. This shit was hectic for me last year. Little years that I've been marked for death. My heartless breath, the underlying cause of my arrest. My life is stress, and no rest forever in me. My eyes stay teary for all the brothers that I buried in the cemetery. Shit's scary, I'm black on black crime legendary. But at times are necessary. I'm getting work, teardrops and closed caskets. Three strikes far as drastic, and certain death for scary bastards. What can we do when we're arrested? But open fire, life in the pen ain't for me, cause I'd rather die. But don't cry through your despair. I wonder if the Lord still cares for us niggas on welfare. And who cares if we survive? The only time you notice a nigga is when it's clutching on the phone 5. My neighborhood ain't the same, cause all the little babies going crazy or they suffering in the game. And I swear it's like a trap, but I ain't giving up on the hood. It's all good when I go back. Oh, show me love, niggas give me props. Forever hot, cause it don't stop on my block.
Living life is but a dream. Hard times is all we see. Very dark is kind of mean, but on our block we still play. But on our block
That shit starts to be hot on my block and never fails. spots. Can't explain my mother's pain when her son drops. Black bears living in hell, when will we prevail? Fear in jail, but crack sales got me living well. In a sense, I'm suicidal with this thug's life. Staying strapped, forever trapped in this drug life. God help me, cause I'm starved and can't get a job. So I resort to violent crime, cause my life is hard. Can't sleep, cause all the dirt make my heart hurt. Put in work and shed tears for my dead years. Misled from childhood where I went astray. To this day, I still pray for a better way. Can't help but feel hopeless and heartbroken. From the start, I felt the racism cause I'm dark. Couldn't quit the bullshit, make me represent. Hit the bar, play the star everywhere I went. In my heart, I felt alone out here on my own. I closed my eyes and picture home on my block.
Living life is but a dream. Hard times is
On
all
my
we
block.
see. Every block is kind of mean, but on our block we still pray. But on our block
And I can never wonder why so many young kids had to die. Caught strays from AKs in the drive-by. Swollen pride and homicide don't come inside. Brothers cry for broken lives, mama come inside. Cause our block is filled with danger. Used to be a close-knit community, but now it all goes strange. This time changes us to snow, the crack pipes. All up and down the block, exterminating black life. But I can't blame the niggas. My mama's welfare check is what the next man come with. Shit's real, I know you feel my tragedy. A single mother with a problem child cat free. Hanging out, picking up gangs, sipping cheap liquor. Gaming no, she's open, I can get to sleep with her. It's a man's work. Staying strapped, fantasies of a nigga living fat, but held back. Hard dreams can make the night seem hopeless. Wide-eyed, losing focus on my block.
living life is but a dream. Hard times is
On
all
my block. Sometimes all the homies. My first piece of pussy that I got on 112th Street, 7th Avenue. Be my motherfucking block. The block parties in the projects, less than the way past daylight. A young nigga learned to break now. I used to play fight with my homies, but they stuck in the pen. I seen them ends, but it's stuff on the friend. In my mind, I see the same motherfuckers falling. Alcohol to make the lazy niggas slip and fall.
What's up, YouTube? It's Artisan MC, the watcher of all things. And if you can hear me, press 1 in the chat because I'm in a bigger space today. I had to cover for somebody. Forward. So I'm actually doing the shop talk from the shop. Funny. But I didn't sleep well last night, so coffee is a must. Gotta get that medicine in me. So what's good, everybody? Serious Killmonger, I didn't mean to smack you down that hard, dude, but no, I ain't talking about that shit. I'm not talking about Spawn for an hour. I might not be on here that long because, as you can see, the shop is open. I got my neighbors next door. They have their church thing going on, so you probably gonna hear some Asian gospel music or whatever, singing to Christ and everything else, and I'm really not in the mood today. I really can't do people today. So we're going to see what's what. The thing I do want to talk about today, there were a couple of topics that came up this week that I saw, rolling through these YouTube streets. I see and hear a lot of things that, pique my interest or get my mind going on certain things. So it's just my observations on what I saw. As far as the whole geekdom and stuff like that, there's been a lot of stuff, but here's the thing. You already know this about me if you watched any of my videos. I'm not big on spoilers, and I'm not big on constantly inundating people with every bit nuance, suspected thing that's happening on a movie or a thing. Make the movie, announce that you're going to make the movie, show me some little updates here and there, and then just make the damn movie. I don't want to see it until it's out because some people need to obsess over every detail of shit like that to the point where this person thinks they're cast. Okay, today they're not cast, but then they had this to say. That gets into the whole gossip thing. Rosie Villa. I don't tell where my shop is located, but I'm in California Bay Area. So if you know the Bay Area, you can find it very easily. very easily. So because I'm in the shop today and it's open, you might get some special guests. I don't know. Maybe some of the people that I know will show up today. Maybe they won't, because I'm not usually here on a Sunday. So this is weird. So if they come in here, they'll see me. You'll see me break off and do something else. So the stream may be short because I don't want that impacting the customers when they come in here. If they do, I'm hoping it's quiet today. I really am, because yesterday was some shit. Trust me. That's also why I'm tired. My patience, I can't do people today, so I'm not trying to do a lot of them. But it's in the California Bay Area. It's not that many comic shops here. You can pretty find it if you do some work. So, on the point of every update with a movie, I just want to see the movie when it's out. Updates that are interesting, I'll cover, but other than that, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it too much. Biggest things that I saw this week, just to get the geek stuff out the way, because there's some other stuff on my mind that I actually want to get to before this. They got pictures of the Batmobile out that's in the Batman movie. Okay, it's looking kind of cool. I can see that they're going for the whole year one look. And if you're not in the comics, you don't know what the year one means. So I'll say this because people keep throwing that shit around. Year one relates to a title and a character, right? Where they take a character back to the first year that he or she started doing their superhero and stuff. And usually what that means is it's kind of rough, In a Batman sense, year one Batman got his ass kicked a little bit more. Some shit didn't work. He didn't have absolutely everything, every gadget that you would think of when you think of Batman right now. All the criminology, all that shit. He didn't have all of that stuff right then. He was just starting out. He didn't know what he needed until he was in it and figuring out he needed certain things more than he needed other ones. That's where the year one term comes from. So in this movie, the year one Batman looks a little bit more rugged and utilitarian, that he's making this stuff right now. Yeah, he has the money, but he's making it out of the stuff that he has available to him. He's not, making his own synthetic carbons and all that other bullshit. He doesn't have it like that yet, but he will progress in that vein. So seeing a more stripped down, realistic look to all of this stuff, it's kind of cool. It's cool. The car, the Batmobile looks cool. It looks like a Mustang or something, Charger or something like that, which looks kind of badass, okay? But it looks like something that anybody could have. But as a Batman fan, here's the thing. I get that part, but this is one of the things I'm having with comics and the popularity of geekdom right now, is that they keep stripping things down to be not as fucking imaginative. And that's bothersome to me. I mean, I read comics. I like comics. I got into geek culture because I like the idea of imagination. And I'll bring this up because it's prescient in my mind right now. Grinch brought up a good point last night on Art of Immore's channel. We're talking about Doom. And this is one of the things I really enjoyed, of hearing how people could read material and absorb it and feel so passionately about it, because it just takes their imagination somewhere that they are not. That's what I got into geek stuff for. That's what I got into comics for. I like that far off view and things that could be a little bit stretched from reality, and you have to make it there, right? Because it gives you something to aspire to, a goal. So in terms of Batman stuff should look a little bit like, yes, you could see a realistic thing in there, but it's taken that much further with a little bit more of imagination, that somebody would go out and try to build this for real. That's what it should look like to me. So when you see a Batmobile, it should be, damn, that's badass. If I got a car like this, I can make that into the Batmobile. That's what it should look like. It shouldn't look like you just pulled this shit off a showroom floor and just threw some half-ass mods on it, and then you got a Batmobile. One of these people who street race and tune could do better than that. Pretty much. And they ain't got millions of dollars at their disposal, but they do it. So for me, yes, the year one looks cool for the Batman movie, but at the same time, I want to be impressed a little bit. I don't need hyper realism in stripped down version of Batman. To me, that's just a cheat. That they don't have much money to do this movie, so they're placing it in that vein of a year one story, so they can get by with a lower budget. You do what you do, okay? That it makes sense. It is what it is, but whatever. That's not really overly grabbing me. So that's just my 2 cents on that. The other stuff that came out was all on this Star Wars stuff, which again, Chapek is in charge now, and he's making a lot of changes and flipping up a lot of things with Star Wars. Want to do some retellings and changing cuts of movies and whatnot for Disney Plus and whatnot. And yeah, it's all well and good, but we already saw that shit. We already saw it. It's already out. So unless you're trying to do a George Lucas where he went back and remastered the movies into what he wanted, we all already saw that shit. It's not getting away from our memory like that. It's in there now. It's stuck in your brain and it's not going away. So you can put out a newer version of it to try to correct some shit, but no. It's not going to change the fact that we saw that shit. It happened. 1 second, everybody. Thank you, Killmonger. Hit the like button, please. Don't need no copyright strikes. But yeah, it's not that we saw it. We've seen it already. It's not going to be something that people forget easily, so you can put out another movie with your version of it, but at the end of the day, we're only going to compare the two together. That's it. It's going to be like bonus features. The other thing that I see that they're doing, which is it makes sense, but I see it's kind of bullshit. Okay, one thing that they're doing is they're fixing a lot of the stuff that happened in The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker by what I call backfilling this stuff in the Last Jedi novel, and they're putting a lot of stuff in there. And one of the things that came up this week that we were talking about in the shop was the fact that the Palpatine that you saw in The Rise of Skywalker was in fact a clone, and his son was a clone, and it wasn't a perfect version. I'm like, okay, yeah, we kind of thought he was a clone anyway. I didn't think that original person who got thrown down that damn shaft was still alive. I already knew from the novels that Palpatine cloned himself a lot. That him getting tossed off into that pit wasn't the end of it. The clone came to life, and that was it. If you read the novels, which is important, that you got to read some shit, like Grinch says, motherfuckers don't read. This is where all this stuff comes from, and if you have these questions, this is where you get it from, by reading the actual original canon material or legends material, whatever they want to call it. But if you read that stuff, you'll find out that Return of the Jedi wasn't the end. That dude lived for a while. And what the things that Palpatine and his master, Darth Plagueis, were into was Sith alchemy and whatnot. And that Sith alchemy was to cheat death and cloning. That's why Palpatine got into that shit heavy. So he cloned a lot of shit. He cloned himself. And he was able to shift his essence, or whatever you want to call it, from body to body into a clone body. So me knowing that going into the Rise of Skywalker movie, I'm just assuming he's a clone any fucking way. That's it. He's just a clone. Because I'm assuming that body died. Now, them coming back and putting that into the book to cover up the fact that the movie didn't address that shit is backfilling. You're trying to backfill or backload some bullshit because you knew there was a mess up in the movie, so now you have to do all this extra filler work and try to do it in a cheaper format, which is a book, to put it out there and let that disseminate so people can say, "Oh, look, this is what happened." Come on, man. We already saw the movie. What you put out is what the hell it was, and that's the end of it. So if you're not liking what you're seeing and how that shit went, then you probably should have made a different movie. Sorry, we got shit happening. So for the most part, it's just, I don't know. It seems kind of cheap to me. I understand why they're doing it because they want to fix the brand, and I think that's what Chapek is coming in and doing. Is him and Iger in the background are coming in and really trying to repair this franchise. No, you can't unscrew a pooch and you can't unslap a bitch, BGS. They're trying to do it, and salute to BGS for coming in. Thank you, sir. But they're trying to do it, but it's, thank you, but it's too late. You know, that baby has been born. It's here now. You know, you can't unabort it. You know, it's here. So them doing that, I appreciate that they're taking that effort and trying to, you know, do damage control and fix their brand. But that shit came out. Just move on. Just move on. The further down the road you get from it, the less you'll see that shit. Trust me. You put out some more good material, like, you know, hopefully Mandalorian season 2 and the Kenobi movie and stuff like that. You will put that shit in the rearview mirror, and people will only think of it as a bump that happened for like 4 to 5 years, and not some bullshit that keeps reoccurring over and over. Because that's what was killing the brand. 3 movies of that shit back to back. I'm telling you, y'all need to really be thanking Favreau and Filoni for that shit, because they saved y'all ass for real. That was it. I mean, truth be told, because I'm in the Bay Area, we get a lot of people from that work at Skywalker and whatnot coming in here, or work for Lucas sometimes, and you know, we don't talk about their business or whatever, but they can do it. I'm sorry, BGS making me laugh with the order. They need to order 66 that shit for real. They do. Just forget about it. But some of our customers are people who work at Lucas and stuff like that, or do promotions and stuff like that for them. So we talk about this shit often. You know, it's not a conversation that is not had, and I understand what they're doing. Appreciate it, but you know, don't waste your time. Really, just go forward with newer, better material, please, for God's sake, because that's not bad. I mean, I deal in comics. You can have a shit run for 6 issues or a year, 12 issues, but you know what? You get a new artist writer team in there the next year, that book took off, went in a totally different direction, and is better now. That's what happens. So I will weather the storm and ride, you know, the ups and downs of this roller coaster, but you better get me to something good. Don't let me pull into the station and find out that's all you had, because I'm going to be pissed. You know, so with that, the Star Wars shit is just, it is what it is. Thank you, Chapek, for coming in and trying to fix some of this shit, but it happened. So let's move on. Let's see what this High Republic shit is about, and let's see what Mandalorian season 2 and Kenobi are going to be about, and make that the best that you can for the fans. I'm one of them. Yeah, I'm an older one. I'm not the oldest one, but I'm an older one. Please make it good for the fans. So give these boys what they need and let fans, actual fans, do this stuff, not just people who say they want their fans, but they just want to push a narrative. It's that shit is old. So for me, I had a question, but I'm not going to deal with that shit today. What the main point of what I'm thinking about and has my head going is some of the stuff I saw last night on Art of Ibmore's channel, and just panels discussions this week. And this is the thing I was grappling with last night when I was going to bed, because last night there was a massive fucking derailment on Art of Ibmore's channel when the conversation was going smooth. Salute, Albert. What's up, Albert Birdman? The conversation was going smooth last night on Art of Ibmore's channel. And we were talking about Dune. Grinch was talking about Dune. BGS was talking about Dune. I'm in the chat and listening like, God damn, I didn't realize I missed a bunch of books. I only knew Dune from the movie and reading the first book. I didn't read any of the other books because I thought those were all by Brian, and I didn't want to hear that shit. I really didn't. But hearing Grinch talk about it so passionately and be able to articulate what the difference between Frank and Brian was, fuck, I'm on Amazon last night, like, okay, 6-book set, and then these other 7, okay. It's on my wish list. I'm getting the motherfuckers so I can catch up. Because I liked the Sci-Fi Channel show of Dune. I liked the original movie. The original movie is awesome shit to me, and it took me a while to get into it, but it is awesome shit, right? The sci-fi series, which I own, was a lot better. It was a lot better because it went into more of the stories. Now, I knew most of that other story came from the other books, but that shit was awesome. It was more accurate to what I read in the original book. It was 100% more accurate. And it progressed the story further of Leto II and Paul's kids and what happened to Paul and what happened to this kid. It's like, oh shit, this was deeper, right? But I didn't go back and read the other books because I was doing other stuff at that time, right? So seeing that shit was awesome. But then we get the derailment. And like, this is the shit that pisses me off about watching YouTube sometimes. Okay, this is the part that gets irritating about watching YouTube right now. And it's just the point, because I'm a content creator now and I put up videos and stuff like that, that I feel the need to speak on this shit now. But some of y'all panels be fucking bullshit with these people jumping on there with this dumb shit. It's like, what is it? What is it about motherfuckers that use the panel for their reason to jump up and air out their personal bullshit when the conversation ain't about that? How much fucking attention do you need for this shit? The shit I saw last night, I knew it was going to be some shit when I saw Homeboy roll in there. I knew it was going to be some shit. And I was already kind of irritated because I don't like people hijacking the whole panel. Everybody needs to talk. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself, of not having your mic right or whatever. But look, motherfucker, I feel like sometimes I'm sitting here listening to a bunch of ADD kids with Tourette's. You're constantly talking over people. You're constantly yelling when somebody else is talking. It's like, God damn, I can't listen to that shit. I'm on earphones half the damn time. Do I have to turn that shit off? Or can I just watch the chat? Because I ain't the big shark in this shit. I'm not. I'm probably a guppy. If that, you know, I be a catfish. I'm cool. I'm not a bottom feeder, but I like catfish. But the panel is for everybody, not just for you. And for me personally, I'm sick of motherfuckers doing their whole show on somebody else's panel. That's to me, that's fucking rude. That's like somebody walked into your house, went into the living room where everybody's having a cocktail party and talking and shit like that, stood up on your fucking table and decided to just talk about whatever the fuck they wanted to do the whole time. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like somebody pissing in your fucking living room. It's like conversations flow naturally from whatever everybody is talking about, and it'll flow in different ways. You can hear that on my recorded shop talks. That's what the conversation is. It's not that we sat down and wanted to steer the conversation in one direction. It flowed. That's what a panel should be. The conversation should flow between everybody. But if it's one person constantly injecting this bullshit that ain't nobody fucking talking about, why the fuck are you on the panel? You need to be running a live. You need to be running a fucking live stream. Because it doesn't make any sense. I'm not here to hear all of that dumb shit. Saturday night is the night for the brothers. That's how I look at it. Saturday night is the night for the brothers. So if Art of Idmore is doing it, I'm over at Art of Idmore seeing what the brothers is talking about on a Saturday night. And it don't matter if I'm with my girl or not. I'm listening to that shit. Okay? Do I give a fuck about Megan Thee Stallion? No, I don't. That bitch ain't even on my radar. Do I give a fuck about somebody being pissed off because their YouTube real life chick got called a fucking Ninja Turtle and they took offense to it? Take offense. This is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard. Here's why I'll get passionate on this shit. I've talked about this shit a number of times because I have a lot of female friends, okay? I've talked about this shit a number of times about how the dude will go to the club and find the hottest girl in the club because she's in there every week and all that shit and dancing and people like her or whatever, and he like, oh yeah, that's gonna be my chick. He snatch her up and this her chick, and the first thing he want to do is bitch about the fact that she in the club every night. It's where the fuck she met you. What the fuck is you pissed for? Oh, you can't talk about her now, dog. Why the fuck not? 10 minutes ago, me and you was both talking about her. But because you decided to slide your dick into her, now it's an issue. Being on YouTube is kind of like being a public figure, motherfucker. That's a moving target. Motherfuckers can hit you with whatever shot they want to. They can say whatever the fuck they feel like saying about you. And you can't stop that shit. You is not going to run around the internet policing every motherfucker's mouth that says something about her. You can't do that shit. That's dumb. That's like for real simp shit. If that was your wife, y'all been married a good 5-10 years, had kids together, I could understand that. Your fucking girlfriend for a couple... Nigga, please. Please. That shit sounds fucking weak. And I ain't got nothing against you. You just fucked up my Saturday night when I was hearing some good shit. That's what I'm pissed off about. You fucked up my time with that shit. And I'm not about wasting my time. I'm not. I'm enjoying Art's panel. Panel was flowing good. It was getting where it was going to get to. People were talking about some shit that was really interesting. Here we go. Bam! Side swipe with this bullshit. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't watch Jerry Springer. I don't watch none of these reality shows. And I don't want to see that shit on my fucking Saturday panel. Because that's what it was. Don't be talking about it, man. Really? How you going to enforce that shit? I'm waiting for the roast beast video. For that reason alone. I was saluting that he did that shit. Like, since you talking shit, here it comes. I was happy. Personally. Because I'm sick of coddling this shit. It's like you can't do that. You're not in a position to do that shit. So, outside of that one, which is the last one that happened, I tuned into Prophet of Thought to hear what they were chatting about. And there was some women up there and they're talking about marriage and, you know, I'm a divorcee, so I've married and been divorced, so I want to hear what people are talking about this marriage stuff, that men own marriage, and I agree, right? I agree on that. Men make the marriage. Women can want that shit all day. If a man don't decide that he's gonna marry your ass, you ain't having no marriage. Same thing with the relationship. If you don't decide he's gonna have a relationship with you, that shit is not happening. Get that shit out of your head that it's yours to choose. That you out here just picking from all the men that's available. You are prey. You are not predators. Not in that sense. There are more of you than there are of us. And if that's the case, you are not in a position to be fucking choosing. The men are. So a man has to decide who he wants to marry. Now I flip over to that channel because I wanted to hear some of this stuff. Because I told you before, I'm a fiend for intellectual conversation. That shit just gets my mind going. I love that shit. This is what I thrive on, right? I get over there, and this goofy motherfucker is over there talking all kind of down her nose. And motherfucker in the chat room and on the panel, grown ass women grown ass men who are married in successful relationships, and I'm listening to this young fucking strag sitting up there talking about what they should be doing in marriage and all her personal stories of what happened to her and how she got some man fired from his job and stuff, but it was just wrong because I felt uncomfortable. This is the part that makes me happy I'm old and, I don't know, a little disappointed that I had kids because they got to deal with this shit. This is people in their age group. This dumb motherfucker, somebody is actually putting through college. She's out in the work world. I heard stuff that I found offensive. This sounds like them same kids that was in my daughter's class that were the reason that nobody could have a peanut butter jelly sandwich at the whole fucking school because one person in the school could be definitely allergic, and if they smell peanut butter, oh shit, they would drop dead. Get tougher. Fuck. He made a bunch of weak ass fucking children in that generation. Jesus Christ. This shit drives me crazy. It drives me absolutely nuts because, like I said before, yes, you have freedom of speech. Watch what you say, but everybody don't need to fucking talk. Everybody doesn't. Especially not in the conversation with grown folks. This is the reason why I get on millennials sometimes, but this is one of the things that makes me so fucking irritated is because with no experience, they believe that they can tell grown people with experience, like they just got here fucking yesterday, that what they're doing, they should be doing it differently. I sat up there and listened to this bitch, and I will call her a bitch because I don't know her personally. But if I knew her personally, I'd call her by her name, and that would still be the same thing that applied. This motherfucker right here got up there telling this fucking ridiculous ass story about how she was working places and they were having conversations that she found offensive and didn't like. And all of a sudden, you know, the guy was out of town and I got an email and he asked me about how those brown buns were. But he tried to cover it up saying it was meant for someone else. Look, I've worked corporate, okay? Group chats, group texts with 9 to 15 fucking people. It is very easy, and in the corporation that I work, the shit happened where emails were meant for somebody else, but because there's so many people with the same last name, it ended up going to the wrong person, and motherfuckers done got in trouble for that shit. It happens. If he told you that it was not for you and the context of the message didn't make sense for you, it wasn't fucking for you. But because in this generation now, where motherfuckers can get offended over the wind blowing on them the wrong fucking way, because she wanted to transfer and get out of there anyway, she saw this as a means to get the transfer she wanted from the hiring manager that she didn't want to have to fucking deal with. So what did she do? She took that shit directly to HR. Didn't talk to him. Took that shit directly to HR. What was that about? It was about getting him out of his fucking position and getting away. Because that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to get somewhere else. That was bullshit. I'm not going to say it like BGS says it. Because I can't. You should trademark that shit, BGS. I swear to God. You need to trademark that shit. If I get an audio clip of that, I'm going to be playing it in my videos. I'm just telling you ahead of time. So I got my clearance. I'm taking that shit and I'm using it. You know? But that was dumb. And having to sit there and listen to everybody go back and forth with that fucking chick for the hour, 2 hours that I was listening was mind numbing because I wanted to fucking slap her. I mean, just open hand. And if you wonder why I'm saying slap, because martial artists know once you hit to a point, hitting somebody with a bald fist is like, you don't even want to do that to a motherfucker. But a good fucking disciplined slap will set their ass right. You know, if you know your rock and roller movie, a good Archie slap, send them back to their childhood, calm and compliant. That was bullshit. And I'm in a side channel sitting there, you know, communicating with one of the brothers on the panel. Is like, motherfucker, is this the same GeekElite person? Is this the same person? It sounds like the same person. Because this motherfucker is in there spouting the same bullshit and rhetoric. Same talking points. And this brings me to my main point on this whole thing. We really need to be policing this fucking Manosphere area. I swear to God. Because Angry Man brought it up and put it out there earlier this week with that dude writing that article on the Manosphere. It is way too many motherfuckers rolling into this sector, spouting their fucking bullshit and trying to give counter narratives and bust up what the fuck is going on. Now, the shit on Art of Idmore last night is a lower level. This chick, fucking Glenda, whoever the fuck she was, it doesn't matter, who was on TPOT, is another one. Derailed a whole conversation about marriage onto her and her shit to get people to actually say things counter to what she was saying, which only ends up fucking up that Manosphere. That's what it was. She's putting all that bullshit out there because as soon as you raise a counter argument to that, oh, see, you don't care about women being harassed in the workplace. That's another arrow that they use to throw at the fucking Manosphere. That's all she's doing. All she's doing is getting motherfuckers on record, recording shit, saying some objectionable shit, and she's just playing the victim. And everybody attacking her. That's the same shit they use to keep coming after the fucking Manosphere. If you read that article that Angry Man showed that fucking jackass wrote, half of the shit ain't correct. I'll just say that. Half of the shit ain't correct. He ain't got his fucking terms of glossary correct. And who asked him to do that shit anyway? Half of the shit is not correct. Most of the stuff that he was saying in the article was about it's this anti-male and a terrorist group shit. Man, fuck you. That's not what that shit is. That is not what that shit is at all. Peace, Noosel. Art Beats. Art Beats. He was way off base with that shit. If anybody is sitting there trying to label the Manosphere or any of that shit as a terrorist group and call people incels and all that shit, all you're doing is throwing around all you're doing is throwing around shaming tactics and shit like that and just trying to break it up because you're nervous about some shit. And I really can't understand, for the life of me, why motherfuckers is upset about men going their own way and saving themselves. And not fucking around with any of these gynocratic ass bitches. What the fuck, right? Women run the world, right? So what do you care about dudes leaving? You don't need men, so why do you worry about them leaving? But what I see, for me, from my observation, is what I see is a bunch of motherfuckers getting really butthurt and really fucking scared and doing whatever they can to come in there, just like the white folks used to do back in the day, coming in there and busting up black movements. Because make no mistake about it, this whole thing on YouTube, it may be on YouTube, but that is a movement of black people. That is a movement of black men specifically. And whichever way black men is moving, motherfuckers pay attention to. It don't matter. If it's 5 of you standing on the corner and you all move in a certain direction, everybody's watching. Because it's 5 of y'all. Motherfuckers kill me with this shit. Because I don't see the same speculation coming from other sectors of YouTube. I don't see the same disruptive behavior coming from different sectors of YouTube. I mean, fucking hell. I watched Donovan Sharp one day. That motherfucker had 1,100 people watching him. 1,100 people watching him just talking about what they should do to have a fucking relationship. I didn't see nobody getting booted. I didn't see no trolls coming into space. Even when he opened up the line so people could call in, I saw no fucking trolls. No, actually, it was one dude came in and said something about OSHA and he shut his ass down and said, we don't talk about him on this channel. And that was the end of it. But he did his whole fucking stream with no problem. But let these folks over here start talking about what black men need to do to get out of this fucking gynocratic system, dealing with these fucked up ass women, strides, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and getting yourself to some fertile soil so you can plant new crops, better seeds, and have a better outlook for yourself in life and your children if you choose to have them in life, than dealing with this dysfunctional shit. And motherfuckers got a problem with that. They're constantly coming in and trying to break that shit up. Like it's a issue for them. The part I don't get is men joining in on this shit. That's the part that bothers me. This motherfucker trying to do his PhD paper on this. So, let me get this straight. Your idea to get your PhD is to look at the black manosphere as a black man and write a paper disparaging it to get a PhD. And you're a black man. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Why would you try to disrupt, break up, discredit something that benefits you, you dumb motherfucker? Why? That makes no sense at all to me. Because I can't remember who brought this term up, but it sounds like you want a butter biscuit, bitch. That's what it sounds like. You want a butter biscuit. If you tell master when them slaves trying to escape, they gonna reward you with a PhD, fuck you. That's despicable. You are a fucking despicable human being. And I don't need to say your name, and I'm nobody. I'm just a regular fucking dude. And that's why I can say that shit to you. You are about bullshit. You'd be the same motherfucker that be turning in everybody because they're gonna escape. You'd be the motherfucker we'd have to kill. And I'm not saying that somebody needs to kill you. I'm just saying you'd have to be fucking dealt with. You'd be the one motherfucker that wouldn't know shit that was going on for that reason. Because you been showing your colors. I want my PhD. Right? I want that. But there is no way in hell I'm going to disparage black folks to get it. Especially not no brothers. I'm not disparaging anybody to do this shit. I will talk about what I know. I will talk about things that interest me. And do it in some intellectual fucking way. But I'm not going to fuck up anybody's head. Even if I did a PhD thesis on geek culture and how it relates to the world at large, there is no way in hell I'm going to disparage geek culture. I'm a part of it. It's me. Why the fuck would I do that? Do you think it's going to engender some kind of loyalty with them? Look, if you will turn on your own people, and this is one of the things white folks are really good about. If you're going to turn on your own people for them, they'll let you do it, but they don't trust your ass. And the first chance they get, they're getting rid of your ass because they know you can't be trusted. You have no loyalty. That's what you just fucking proved. So do you really want that shit now? Do you really want that PhD? Not like that. That's fucking stupid. It's just dumb as hell. I don't personally fucking get it. So police in this area. I just ask any content creator that's listening to me, stop letting these dumb motherfuckers on the panel. Stop letting them stay there. If you hear somebody who got this rhetoric going on, I know everybody like to eat and everybody want to be the Kraken in this bitch, but look, there's one Grinch, there's one BGS, there's one Angry Man, there's one Kendra. That's it. That's it. These are the motherfuckers that go after people that can. Everybody else is pretending to be one of these other four. Everybody can't eat on people like that. You can't. You don't have the intellect. You don't have the verbal skills. You just can't. So don't leave these motherfuckers on your panel for hours for fucking hours spouting this fucking rhetoric. That's all they're doing. Derailing the conversation to what they want to talk about and just fucking up the space. Let your ass try to run up and have something to say in some white supremacist chat room. I bet you don't get a word out. But see, for me, that's what black folks' problem is. We are too accommodating of other fucking people. That's why we always getting fucked over. I can't believe that motherfucker was a traitor. You know why? Because you didn't vet that motherfucker first. That's why. If this motherfucker is brand new, never seen him in the chat, never seen them on anybody else's fucking panel, why the fuck are they up there for an hour? Shouldn't they be sitting in the cheap seats? Taking notes? Shouldn't they? I know it's an open panel, but goddamn, I see some other dude's channel. You can't even get on the panel if you ain't a fucking member. You might not even see the stream. Trust and Believe, Art of It show last night was a perfect fucking example. He said 2 words. 2 words. And he didn't even say them. That was Edward and Nameless, who actually had some information on this shit. 3 words, actually. Scientology. I shouldn't even say this shit. I'm gonna fuck myself up. Scientology, Mormons, and Jehovah's Witnesses. That fucking chat room blew the fuck up. It was heads rolling all over the place. Lightsabers out, motherfuckers was going down. It was like the Jedi Purge. I'm like, what in the fuck? Trolls came out of the woodwork. Art of It don't get no bunch of fucking trolls. He got 1 or 2. Jessica's ass showed up in there. She got the boot before her ass got in the seat. Boy, she got spring loaded. Ejecto-cedo, cuz. She was out of there. Gone. Right? No. After that, filled up with fucking people. Filled up. Why? Because people like busting up shit that black folks is doing. Especially black men. Whatever you're fucking doing and making some progress doing, somebody is going to come and try to fuck that shit up. And you need to be on guard for this shit. For me, I'm the watching public as well as a content creator. Look, I know everybody want to prove their intellectual chops. I know everybody want to get their roast on. I know everybody want to like to go at some people. Speaking of it, roasting, I forgot about the roast master, Ronan Martin. That's the motherfucker you can let roast, okay? You can let him cook and it'll be good. But to my point, everybody can't do that shit. Especially on your panel. Yeah, it'll drive your fucking numbers up, but it will also drive away the people you really want in your fucking chat room. The ones with some intellect, the ones who are willing to actually take this information we're gleaning from this conversation and put it into action in life so you have a bigger groundswell movement. Turn other people onto the channel. I'm not turning people onto the channel to see a bunch of dumb motherfuckers on a panel spouting this rhetoric they can hear any day of the week on television. This is supposed to be the knowledge base, man. What the fuck? Yeah, Tommy J. Curry up in this bitch, 2 weeks ago? This is supposed to be the knowledge center for black men who want to make a change in their life. That's how we should be policing that shit. You can't roll into a mosque talking that bullshit. FOI, beat your ass. You might not make it to the door. You can't roll into no Scientology place with no bullshit. You will never make it to the blue doors. Why the fuck should the Manosphere operate any differently? Why? Because it's online and it's YouTube? So fucking what? You got chat rooms, you got likes, you got subscribers, and all that shit for a reason. That's your fan base. You need to be policing that shit. Because yes, people want to show up and hear some shit, but everybody ain't up there to be talking. You all welcome, but everybody ain't welcome to get up on the chat, the panel and talk, especially if they spouting some bullshit. It need to be quick. I'm sorry. Every time I hear somebody like that, I'm thinking of the Apollo and the Sandman. Where's the Sandman? Where's the hook? Somebody get the hook. Get this motherfucker out of here because they just wasting our time. They sucking up all the fucking positive energy out of the place and replace it with all this drag fucking, bullshit. I don't have time for that personally. And trust me, if I'm listening to your panel, I like your content and I'm trying to support a brother. I don't want to turn that shit off because you got a dumb motherfucker on there. That's hurting your numbers. It is. Because if I'm really invested in you, I'm one of your subs, I'm making sure I show up, I'm donating, I'm hitting likes and stuff like that, and you got some ridiculous dumbass up there, and now I'm leaving, what are you telling me? You more interested in listening to this dumb motherfucker than you is putting out that good content. I'm not for that. I'm sorry. It's just me. It's just me. And like I said, this is my channel. It's my fucking opinions. I'll do what the fuck I want up here. So that's my opinion. That simping shit, get over it. You're not stopping anybody from saying anything about that fucking woman. Unless you're going to pull some Jay and Silent Bob and pull the internet records and show up at everybody's house personally with a paperwork of what they said and when, and then try to see about them on that porch or in that front yard, then get over it, motherfucker. You need some thicker skin. Because that's a public figure. It ain't no different than me saying something fucked up about any celebrity. I can do that shit. You know why? Because they're a public fucking figure. And if they husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, new doings, side piece want to say something about it, fuck them too. You know why? Because they ain't supposed to be saying nothing about that shit. That's what you signed up for, motherfucker. So deal with it. If you don't like that shit, get the fuck out. But you ain't policing everybody's mouth. That sounds ridiculous. That's no different than these chicks online trying to tell dudes where they can stick their dick or not. Same dumbass shit. Same feminine behavior. And this is the main thing that needs to happen in the black community, at least with black men, which I value the black manosphere for, is for getting motherfuckers to unlearn all this feminist shit that's been pumped into their heads forever. That's the hardest part. Because you have to actually look at yourself objectively, look at the shit you do, and match it up to what is masculine and what is male thought and what is feminine and female thought. And if you can't divorce that shit, you need to find a balance. And balance that shit heavy back towards the male side. You smart enough to understand that, I hope. Do that shit. These motherfucking panels with these fucking ridiculous ass, I'm educated and I'm younger, but you people don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and I'm just gonna say this shit and let me tell my story. And please, I don't have time to talk to you right now. Then get off the fucking panel. Peace to Game Changer, because he was going at her ass hard. And I appreciate that shit. And he was apologizing later on, and I'm telling you, for me, bro, you didn't have to apologize for shit. At a point, I did want you to let her speak so I can hear what the fuck she was saying so we can dissect that shit too. But after a point, it came to be the same thing. You done said the same thing 3 times. Get the fuck off of here. Why are we listening to you? You're reading your script and pumping your narrative, and that's why you keep coming back to these bullet points to keep throwing that shit out there so it's on the live. Let her do her own channel with that shit. If you on YouTube and you got a fucking icon on this shit, you have your own channel. Put out your own bullshit. It's very fucking simple. And then you can see how many people want to listen to that shit. But if you're going to roll into somebody else's panel and start spouting all your bullshit, it is very obvious, it's very apparent the fuck you were there for. Propaganda, disruption. And I'm sick of seeing derailments. I don't work on the railroad. I don't. I'm sick of seeing them. But for me, language is visual. I see that shit coming a mile off. I'm like, oh shit. You can hear it in the tone. You can hear when the fuck they get up. Half the damn time you can see it in their fucking screen name. Shit. Oh fuck. So, look, man. That's my 2 cents on that. Just police this space, please. I love this space. I really do. You know, that's why I try to do my mod duties when I can on people's channel. I'm usually on my phone, so it makes it a little slower, but because I want this space clean, I value it, I appreciate it. So I'm asking or imploring the rest of y'all, if you value this space, if you enjoy this space, and see it not just as entertainment, because it can be entertaining, but you understand the value in it, police that shit. Keep these dumb motherfuckers out of here. Don't give them room to fucking speak, because trust and believe, you haven't had room to speak for a long goddamn time. Isn't it about time you stop letting people take your voice? Isn't it about time that you start, grabbing that mic and saying, sorry, you got to get the fuck out of here. We ain't talking about that shit today. Your day is on your channel. You can start doing that shit. That's just me. I can't tell people what to do. I don't have stroke like that. But this is just, one man's opinion. This is what the watcher sees, and what I saw was that shit this week. Disappointing as it may have been. So that's it for my spiel. I did about an hour. Oh, Fitness Mom came in here. What's up, Fitness Mom? Nameless protagonist. Salute to you, sir. Aquatechy. Even the Maggles are coming in with the same. Nameless, you already know. The fact that you can call somebody a Maggle and you already know what a strag is means they got the same fucking energy. They got the same energy. And you can hear it. That's the part that's so fucking disappointing. Every time I see, it's more disappointing to me to see an older man with this shit than a younger one. A younger one, it kind of makes sense. You can retrain this motherfucker. Okay? There is some hope. An older dude, why? Chop your dick off. It's like, what can you do with that shit? You can't do shit with it. Because that motherfucker is going to be set in his ways. You can't do shit with him like a 38-year-old single woman who's looking for a husband. She already fucked up. You know why? Because she's looking for a husband and she's fucking 38. Somebody should have picked you up already. That wasn't your choice to make. Your choice was, fuck this dude or not. Let him go raw or not. Have a baby or not. And to say yes or no if he asked you to marry you. If none of those options came up, you fucked up. Plain and simple. I'm still, I got my lady now, but not so long ago, I was having to check chicks my age, over 40. Talking the same dumb shit like they 21, like they running around with a new vagina. A freshly minted vagina, and they need to be getting this, that, and the other. You need to be shutting the fuck up. Because you asking for some really unreasonable shit to be your age with this many kids and not married. That is not your choice to make. You don't get to decide on a husband or when you about to be married. You about to be fucking lonely because you passed the wall. There is no reason a guy should put up with that shit when he can find somebody 21, 24, 25, freshly minted vagina, ain't been beat up in 15 accidents, and ride that shit out. And possibly have her a little bit trainable. No. So, it's dumb. Albert Bird. Yeah, Grinch. You're right, Albert. Grinch, he got me interested in the book. I never heard that motherfucker be that passionate about anything except, slaying strags. Swear to God, because I didn't even know that shit. And he's invested, and because he has that much passion about it, that shit gotta be good. Gotta be fucking good. So yeah, I already looked it up. I already got those on order. Those motherfuckers is coming so I can catch up because I'm a fan of the original Doom book. I love that shit. Love it, love it, love it. Right? I don't know shit about Brian's books. I don't know shit about Brian Herbert's books. But if it's that good, I want to read it because I like good shit. So I like good alcohol. I like good weapons. I like good comics. I like good art. I like good food. I like good reads. I love a fucking good read. And those books, gotta do it. Nameless Protagonist, we do not use that name here. I do not use that name. I will tell you, fucking dude. I will tell you, my ex-girlfriend, she was Latina. Ah, goddamn, bless her heart. She heard me listening to Angry Man and everybody else because I've been listening to them for a year, right? So she's heard this shit. This motherfucker came out her mouth one day and told me something about some Derek Jackson, and I was looking at her like, like, shit. It's like, oh my god, that shit was fucked up. I at that point I already understood that we couldn't have no more of a relationship. I really did, because she brought that shit up to my volume. I was like, I have fucked up somewhere. I have really just fucked up somewhere. This shit is over and not gonna work. And sure enough, within a month or so, that shit was done. That was it. She listened to that motherfucker. No. Bad wiring. This building cannot be rewired correctly. No, we gotta tear that shit down. That was done. Mr. Meach, it was the Dune series. The Dune series from Frank Herbert, and then the ones from Brian Herbert. So I'm listing them in not the right order, I don't think, but God, Emperor Dune, Children of Dune, Battle of some other stuff, House Caladan. It's a bunch of books. Apparently it's like 14. Apparently BGS read most of them. Grinch read all the Brian Herbert books that are based on his father's notes, and then he filled in the rest of the story. So if it's more action, I'd be interested in seeing that, because I know from the Star Wars books, there was a couple of writers that worked on different titles. Like one series, you might have had 6 writers, and seeing the different writers' style was really good. Like Star Wars wise, if I want action and somebody who can do action really well, I know it's Aaron Alston. Aaron Alston writes a lightsaber fight like you can see it. Like he knows fighting moves. He knows fighting stances. But you go with Christine Golden, and then you get the emotional internal development of the character. Because what she wrote with Boba Fett and Janiyah Solo was awesome. That shit was fucking awesome. And yes, there was action happening here or there, but the character development in the character was what just grabbed me about those books, right? So I get different authors and different styles. And whereas Frank Herbert is detailed, if his son is more action oriented, oh, I gotta read that shit. I gotta read that. Just to see how his style picks up, especially if he's using his dad's notes. I mean, I don't have a problem with the franchise staying in the family. I actually prefer that shit, right? Because it at least goes back to the source, the original source. And I'm always about that. The shit has to go back to the original source. If he took it and said it was Children of Dune and just did some other bullshit all on his own, just wrapping it in his daddy's name, that'd be fucked up. But if he's using his dad's notes and filling in this other shit, then let him rock. Let's see what he can do. I don't have a problem with that shit. She had you rethinking your life choices, the Strag Whisper. Yes, she did, Nameless. She had me rethinking my life choices. And that was fucked up, because I can say this shit because it's been a number of times, but I kind of loved her ass. And that was fucked up. Because the writing was on the wall, because she had too many strag-ass friends and a sister that was embracing her inner strag all of a sudden. So the writing was already on the wall. I was going to have to kick her ass to keep her in line. And how I grew up, I ain't into beating on no fucking chick. I'm just not. I'm not into it. So for her, that was the only thing that kept her in line with her ex-husband. Her ex-husband would put her head through a wall. For real. Like, old school Latino man. He would do that short guy machismo and put her head through a fucking wall. And it worked for a number of decades. Okay? I ain't got time for that shit. I don't. I'm California and I'm black. I don't have time for that shit. There's other waves out there coming. Let me get off of this one and I'll wait for the next fucking wave. Had a good time. Thank you very much. So, yeah. That shit was not okay. You're gonna make a lot of. They gonna be look, Albert Bird. DJ is not only gonna make them single forever. They already gonna be single forever, cause that's their man. If you listening to that dumb shit, you're gonna be single forever. And they may know it in the back of their mind, but they want to be told that they're right so bad that they taking the consequences of that shit long as somebody tell them when they're right. You can tell a motherfucker they wrong all day. Even my girl I got right now, we ain't talked about shit, and like, she had to learn that she was fucked up in some shit that she did. I'm a pretty easy fucking dude to get along with. If you're not doing something to piss me off, I'm pretty easy going. If you fucking up with me, you gotta work some shit out. You know? So, a lot of chicks that I have met, that's their issue. Trying to run men. Either trying to be a man or trying to run men. And that shit don't work. And it's the funniest thing in the world to sit there and talk to them and be like, So what are you looking for, man? Oh, good. So you want another son, is what you're saying. Oh, no, I don't want that. Well, look, if you want a man who has money and does all of this stuff, but takes care of you and does all that other stuff, but you get to do whatever the fuck you want to and don't want to have to listen to him, that's your fucking son. That's your son. Because that's the only person who's going to work, give you money, and accept the fact that you're not following his fucking direction. That's the only person that's going to do that shit. Because he has no sense of being in charge of you. He never has been. But if you think you about to go out here and find a man to be on your program as a woman, that is not a man. That is a boy. So you're looking to adopt? It's tax time. Say it now so you can get your shit straight. So you can get paid next year. No. That's not how that shit works. You're supposed to be on his program. You don't have a program to be on. Because any man that's sitting there following a fucking woman is not a man. That is a child. Plain and simple. That's how that shit works. That's why you're not in charge of picking men. You pick who you fuck. But you ain't in charge of who come up to you and decide to give you all these things. That's on the man. If you ain't earning that shit, you ain't getting it. Union rules. Just saying. So, that's it. If y'all got any questions, I'll probably rock out for another 20, 30 minutes. So if you got any questions in the chat, go ahead and throw them up there and I will do my best to answer them. Everybody except Serious Killmonger, if you fucking inundate me with some goddamn Spawn questions, dude, nigga, I might boot you. I swear to God. I swear to God. Because you acted out on somebody else's panel and I saw that shit and I was embarrassed for you. I was embarrassed for you. I had to boot you. Because that shit was not okay. So, I don't know what you want. We alright, but keep it a little chill, nigga. Keep it a little chill. You know, maintain low tones. Maintain low tones. So, asking too much out of these people, apparently. I guess so, Nameless. I guess I am. And let me do something for you right now. Just because I trust you. With this wrench, I knight you, sir. So, you can be a sniper. I don't think I'm gonna get, I ain't got enough subs or viewers to get a bunch of goddamn trolls, but sooner or later, if I do right, I may need the sniper brigade to come out. put their white feathers in their cap and start calling out their shots. Because what's with the New Mutants? Good question, BGS. Okay. New Mutants is the last movie that Fox was doing with mutants and whatnot, right? It was made over a year ago. It was supposed to be kind of a horror setting in the horror genre, but then the whole buyout with Disney of Fox took place. So the movie was made, it was in the can, they stuck it on the shelf. Disney did their buyout, Marvel figured out whatever else they can do with that Marvel Disney shit. And then Kevin Feige from Marvel looked over the movie, decided, yes, we will go ahead and put this shit out. That is good, put it out. So that's what's happening. It was a Fox property when they made it. It's now a Marvel property, a Marvel Disney property. Kevin Feige looked it over, said it's good, putting this shit out. The New Mutants is like a younger team of X-Men. Think of it like the second or third team of the X-Men that Xavier was running after the original team, right? So a lot of people on there, that team, go on later to become X-Force with Cable and stuff like that, which I really love, where you get Deadpool and them coming in there. But the New Mutants is that younger team. It's a lot of really powerful people on that team and a lot of characters that are mainstays now in X-Men comic books, okay? Cannonball, Sunspot, Meltdown's not going to be in there, I don't think. Or Boom Boom, as she's known, because that doesn't come till like X-Force. Illyana Rasputin, Magic, Danny Moonstar, Karma. What was the other one? Rain, Wolfsbane. A lot of good characters in there. I'm looking forward to that movie. You know, I'm really looking forward to that movie. Especially after seeing how a horror movie could work with superpowered characters, with Brightburn. I want to see what they do with New Mutants. I'm really fucking interested. I'm really interested to see it. And I was skeptical on that movie first time I saw it. Like, oh shit, I don't know. But then after I saw some footage, okay, that could be interesting. It could be interesting. So I have a review of it after it comes out because I'm watching for it. It's on my radar. I'm checking it out. No problem, Nameless. You good peoples, man. This Scorpio love, man. Gotta have that stinger out. Hey, that's not the Sniper Squad. That's the Scorpio Squad. Motherfuckers need to get stung. You know. Walter White. Oh Jesus, that looks like a troll, man. Samurai Jack should have stayed in the future. Yes, and I'll tell you that. Yes, and I'm not as up to date on Samurai Jack. My buddy Joe Herb, I think he's in the chat. That is a Samurai Jack devotee. That motherfucker know everything, the ins and outs of Samurai Jack. I didn't watch it that heavy, but yeah, he should have stayed in the future. I wasn't too keen on. I think they brought him back or something like that. I wasn't too keen on that shit. That wasn't a good idea. Just leave it where it was. But they wanted to tell some new stories, and you know, every I think it's 5 to 10 years you have to use that license again, or you lose it. Somebody else can come in and buy that shit. So they had to put something out with his ass. That's just how that shit goes. It was an extension of the last Wolverine movie. BGS, no, the New Mutants is not an extension of the last Wolverine movie. There were young mutants in that last Wolverine movie, but for the good stuff that was in the Wolverine movie, there's a lot of bad stuff in there too. Just fucking flat out, because Fox didn't know what the fuck they was doing with mutants, and they had all kind of people with all kind of powers that wasn't correct and wasn't right. So from what I understand, this New Mutants thing is its own separate thing. It wasn't tied into any of that other shit, and that's why Kevin Feige is letting it go ahead in the Marvel universe, because it wasn't really tied to any of those other X movies outside of the fact that they were mutants. That was it. So because of that, it leaves it in a place where it can be used like a universal adapter. It can just be put into this world and not fuck up anything, and you can weave anything through it to get it into this universe. So it made it really easy. So I'm happy that he took that shit on. So that'll be good. Oh, those kids that saved Logan. Yeah, not the same shit. Team Scorpio, that's what's up, Nameless. I wanted to make a proper conclusion of Samurai Jack. We waited 14 years for the final season. Yeah, well, you need to get on with who did it last time? Nickelodeon, whatever. You need to get on with them and trust me, I'm seeing the power of this fucking internet shit with getting this dumb shit, erased. Don't think Kathleen Kennedy is just walking out the door just because Disney thought it was a good idea now. No. Fucking fans and motherfuckers on the internet nowadays have some fucking sway and say so. That's why motherfuckers are so interested in what's going on with the fucking Manosphere. Because with the internet, with YouTube, you can reach so many more people. And you can impact so many more minds, so many more lives. You can get so many eyes on you. And even if I took this camera outside right now to the drunk on the corner, I could show you what's going on in this city and get some shit changed in this city. I could. Enough people watch that shit, it can happen. And if you're vocal enough, like thankfully millennials are nowadays, they're vocal, but they be vocal in the wrong ways. So you just have to, twist the fire hose in the right direction to get that stream going in the right place. That's all it is. What else? What else y'all got? I was looking. I'll tell you this, because I walked past the theater when I got my breakfast and my coffee. That Mulan movie, I never put out my first impressions thing with Mulan. I have that shit from last year. I might put it up before I put up my reaction to another trailer from Mulan. I'm looking forward to that Mulan shit. And it sounds silly, but I'm looking forward to that Mulan shit. I didn't I saw the Disney cartoon. It was alright. That's my son. My daughter was a little young for that one. But it was alright. I don't mind the story. I don't mind a little bit of female empowerment. This live action version, that shit look awesome. And I'm saying this so it's on the record. The fact that that movie does not look like a Disney live action movie, it looks like Hero 2. It got Jet Li in it. It got Donnie motherfucking Yen in it. It got a bunch of I keep doing that. A bunch of Chinese actors that I like. Oh, I'm watching that shit. I am watching that shit. For real. We were watching Forbidden Kingdom in here the other day. Zach had it on the screen behind me. And the chick that's the lead in Mulan, she was in Forbidden Kingdom with Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and I forget that little young kid's name. But she was in that shit too. I get off on martial arts movies. I love me some martial arts movies. And the trailer from this thing looks awesome. Like, they really doing some good shit. So I'm going to be all over that movie. I'm going to be watching that shit when it comes out. So if you have to, this is just my upcoming movies I'm going to be seeing. You got Mulan coming up on March 27th, I think it is. Yeah, March 27th, this month, Mulan's coming out. Going to see that shit. You got Quiet Place 2 coming out on March 20th. I didn't want them to do another Quiet Place. I thought it ended in a good place. I don't want to see more, but it made so much goddamn money. Yeah, somebody was going to press them for a sequel. Okay, so I'll see it, but I'm not looking forward to it, really. I'm really not. Not that I don't like Emily Blunt or nothing like that. I like some things that have their good finality and just be done. I don't need to see it perpetuated. Some things don't need to be perpetuated. That one was a good story all on its own, and that was good. And the director-writer, he did a good job. I'm forgetting how to pronounce his name right now, so I'm not saying it. But he did a good job in writing and directing that story and starring his wife, because it gave that story some realism, and it gave that interplay and that interaction between that couple some realism. I like that. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it. But I like the whole psychological effect of that movie on the audience. Because trust and believe, I'm watching the movie and I'm watching the audience, and that was The Quiet Place. The movie had sound. This theater was fucking silent. And I've never seen that in a movie where people have been that fucking silent. It's like they was chewing their popcorn with cotton balls. Like for real. Because they were psychologically there in that movie. I love that. It worked. Doesn't need a sequel though. Don't think it needs a sequel. So Mulan, Quiet Place 2, and there was something else that's coming up soon. It's something I'm forgetting. I had to get my calendar to write down my movies so I don't forget this shit. But those two are the two I saw today, and I'm going to see. I'm making sure I go to see that Mulan shit and get my martial arts fix, and then I'll see The Quiet Place just to see what the fuck they did for a sequel. But that'll be it. Appreciate that sub, Walter. Hit a like too, motherfucker. You can hit that Cash App. Do got a Cash App? You can hit it. I don't be banging my Cash App drum all the time, but shout out to Cats from last week. Thank you, sweetheart. Damn, I just said sweetheart. I didn't mean it like that. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, y'all can hit that. Nameless. What's your point about fan feedback? Look at what happened with the Sonic movie. Nameless, that's exactly my point. Fan feedback was so strong on what that original Sonic trailer looked like. Them motherfuckers took heed and went back and fixed that fucking movie. And the fan approval from that movie has been really good. Right? Now, I would say this. The Sonic people learn from what happened with that X-Men Age of Apocalypse bullshit. Because when that set picture or whatever came out with Apocalypse looking like Ivan Ooze, that was a mistake. They should have never put that shit out. But everybody else in the movie theaters, or not movie theaters, but the movie studio saw that shit. They saw the reaction that shit got. That movie tanked. Even when it came out and they tried to explain, no, that was just before special effects and stuff like that. Didn't matter. The movie still sucked. Movie still went down in flames. So the people doing that Sonic shit, saw that shit, they backed off quick and fixed it. That was better for them because they came out with a better fucking movie instead of rushing it. Their fans showed up and their fans approved of it. Good job. Thanks for fucking listening. Thought that's who you were making this shit for. This Star Wars shit, with how that was going, fans' displeasure is what got KK walking her ass out the door. Because understand, if that wasn't there, her ass would still be there. You'd be getting another movie this year with that same fucking narrative, you know, force-fed in your face. You'd be getting that shit. Because she wasn't stopping. Trust me, wherever she land after this shit, she gonna be doing that same shit, probably. Or she gonna have to heal. She's gonna have to heal. And we pulling her choke chain. Ah! Cut that shit out. You ain't gonna fuck up our franchises. Mr. Meach. What do you think about the new Invisible Man? Mr. Meach. I pump these dudes because I like them, but if you watch Double Toasted, it's the dudes Double Toasted, two brothers, they do a review show and stuff like that. And I like them. They funny as fuck. They funny as hell to me, right? I didn't see the new Invisible Man movie. I watched their review on the Invisible Man movie, and it was suspect. They roasted. Oh my god, they roasted that fucking movie. It looked kind of fucked up. I was a fan of the Invisible Man. My favorite Invisible Man movies would be like the original, that old black and white shit. I can't remember who the actor was in that. Then he got ate by a spider or something like that. Or was that the Incredible Shrinking Man? I don't know. But Memoirs of an Invisible Man, Hollow Man, and some other shit, right? It's just fun. The new one, with this motherfucker being an abuser and some shit like that, god damn it, dude. I saw that trailer for that shit. I didn't want to see it because it sounded like some feminist trope to me. It's like, and they pointed, the Double Toasted dudes pointed something out that I was thinking when I saw the trailer. This motherfucker is brilliant enough to create a machine that can turn himself invisible. And you use that money and that resource to turn yourself invisible just to fuck with your ex-wife? To harass her in the house? That is so beneath. It doesn't make logical fucking sense. If you're that smart, why would you be that goddamn petty? It seems pointless. It's like, whatever. Only thing I watch it for is for the special effects because I grade that shit, right? I'm just coming out of The Boys and seeing what they're doing with Translucent in that show. Okay, so how are they doing the special effects in The Invisible Man? Green suit? CG? What? You know, I just want to see what it looks like. Other than that, I have no desire to see the fucking movie, and that's why I have been doing a bunch of movie reviews and television reviews lately, because some of this shit I just don't want to fucking see. I just don't. It's like, I'm telling you, last year with them feminist fucking movies that fucked up franchises was really draining to me. It was draining my spirit, my soul. My soul took a hit. My geek soul took a hit because they were just, you know, raping some of my favorite shit or the things that I just liked, and that was not okay. So, yeah. So my view on The Invisible Man, watch at your own risk. I'm not expecting too much from it, but if I watch it, it'll be on fucking cable or a bootleg. That's about it. Number one video game, the film, movie, apparently. Yeah, it can be. Because usually video game, usually video game movies, video games that turn into movies don't translate well and they only play really to their fan base unless they do it right. It's like, it's the same thing if you make a movie into a comic book or a video game into a comic book. It doesn't necessarily translate well. It won't sell for shit. Like traditionally in the shop, if you had Avengers Endgame movie, right? And you turn that into Avengers Endgame comic, the comic will not sell shit. Sitting right next to the regular Avengers book, it will not sell shit. We will sit on copies of that because nobody's interested in that shit. It's just not, it's not there. And I have people come in all the time asking me about shit that, oh, do you have a comic for such and such? No, because it's shitty. And they wouldn't waste their time making a comic on that. All the time. It's just not. Mr. Meach, yes, there's a lot of frustrating shit in movies nowadays. That's what makes my fucking watching experience so fucking limited. I pinned it on getting old. I got older, I got less tolerant, I end up having less patience. There's a lot less shit. That if the field was this big, that motherfucker has dwindled down to this. This is the lane that I like to watch shit and enjoy it. And because they're feeding so much shit into this stuff nowadays, and I call it shit, there should be a more articulate expanse for this. It's social engineering programming by feminists and alphabet community. Okay? The programming of people's minds into these social constructs that they can easily be manipulated and easily accept all these other differences that people want to put in with their own narrative. Okay? That's the shit that I'm talking about. If I had to make up an acronym for it, I could. I'm not interested in all of that. Okay? Because as a black heterosexual man, where's the story speaking to me? That's what I'm looking for. What if I'm looking for identity politics and the shit that I'm watching very few things. Okay? Very fucking few. I'm probably not watching none of this shit that's coming out because none of it is speaking to me. Black heterosexual male. It's not speaking to me at all. Okay? So I don't go into the movies for identity fucking politics. I go into the movies for a story, a little bit of escapism, a little bit of interest, right? Some thought-provoking shit. Or something funny. Some action. Give me a vision of something that I can't see every day already. I'm not reading comics for that shit. Comics are different because they're written. They can feed some social narrative in there, but it's supposed to be a narrative of where you can be, not where you fucking are. And that's my problem with most of this shit. There's no forward thinking anymore. Like, these motherfuckers do not have an imaginative bone in their fucking body. Everything is centered around their fucking crotch and they groin and what they can do with it and getting everybody else to accept that this is okay. Look, if you want to go fuck a fire hydrant, go fuck a fire hydrant. Why do I need to like you for it? Anyway. You are ground zero to know that too. Nameless, I'm at ground zero for seeing all this social programming bullshit that they do. Anything in media, I think they'll try it in print first, because movies and shit like that is a little bit of a gamble if you don't already have this your show or something like that up and running. Okay, but books, comics can give you a good test audience. So if you're testing, like, doing the scientific method, if you're running a test, this is your sample size. You can see that shit very quickly because it's on a monthly basis. You can find out within 3 months if the shit is working or if it's not, who's taking to it, who's not. You can get that information back. If they pulled all the knobs from these comic shops, they'd find out a lot quicker than that. But you can tell pretty easily about what's selling, how much they bought, how much they returned, how much they sold. You can find that shit out really quickly. And then find out who's buying the shit. Easy. So I've been getting into fictional writing first because I got tired. Very true, Nameless. This is why I have pitched the idea to Angry Man. He didn't respond to me on it. But as you guys know, I'm one of the art beats. I'm on Art New Style Black Artists on the Spot channel, right, every Tuesday. We need to do more artists on that panel, dude, for real. Don't mind the conversation, but it needs to be more people up there drawing. But because we're doing that weekly, and I'm drawing something weekly, and I'm always just thinking about what I want to, scribble down and draw, it'd be better if I actually had something to produce at the end of that. Because I'll give an easy shout out to my friend Aaron Brisea, right? My coworker Zach's older brother. Aaron Brisea put out a comic, right? He put out two comics. And basically it's a simple idea. Basically it's a simple idea. He drew 3 panels. We're about to get some customers in a minute, so hold on a second. Hello. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
All right. So if you hear me talking, I'm live streaming on YouTube right now.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So don't worry about it.
He's talking to himself.
Yeah, I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to some people apparently.
It's cool, yeah. As
Yeah.
long as I don't hear you say, "Hey guys."
Oh, no. Nah. This ain't makeup talk. It's not makeup talk. So if you have a question, just let me know and I'll take care of it. But I'll try to wrap this up in a bit. But anyway, Aaron did a book, and it's called My Life in Scribbles. You can find it. I think it's on Amazon too. We carry it in the store. And it's a very simple idea. He did 3 panels a day, and they were just his stick figures of his drawing, right? 3 simple panels. And he did that every day or every week or something like that, and saved it for a year. After that year, he put it all together into a book. He produced a book. He is now a published author off of that. So my thinking is, if I'm on this panel every Tuesday, every week, and I'm drawing a picture every week, that could be a panel in a comic every week. Now, what characters would I want to use every week? People I know. It'd be cool to use people I know and give them superpowers. That'd be funny to me. But then it gives me a focus for what I'm doing every week. And then it's something that comes out of that every week, because you guys have seen Art's, drawings that he does every week. That motherfucker is way talented. Way fucking talented. He needs to be selling that shit on eBay every week. Don't have to worry about support for his channel. He can sell that shit every week if he wanted to, because then he got to ship it and stuff like that. But otherwise, it needs to be something. It should be something that's getting turned out from that. So, because the landscape right now is so bereft of creativity, I encourage everybody to write their own shit. I really do. And I don't care how well you can write, if it look like scribbles or not, or Sanskrit. Get your ideas out there. That's what YouTube is good for. That's whatever. That's why I stay with my foot on Joe Herbert's neck on getting his freaking comic done. And he finished it. He's doing the wording and stuff on it. He's colored it. It looks awesome. I just want him to put it out, so he can put his voice out there, because the dude is creative and he does this shit. So why the hell not? So for the most part, just do it. Nameless, you smart enough, dude. You sharp enough. You think you be showing out. You be holding back, motherfucker. I know you. You Scorpio. You ain't fooling me. Write your shit up. Just write it. Just write it out. Don't worry about the format. Just write the shit and do it. Because I say I get more fun out of playing D&D because I get to do that every time. I get to create a character every time. It's backstory and everything else every fucking time, and it's different. You guys have a good one. Appreciate it. I do it every time, and I use that character now for pretty much everything. When I do a story, when I do the new story that I'm working on, that character is going to be in that story, because I like that character. It's so much fun. So why the fuck? Why should I throw it away? I mean, what's up, Artifort? You late than a motherfucker. You better have some bread. You better been at work or waking up. I'm just saying, Artbeat. So, Nameless, do it. And I'll tell you this, Nameless, why don't you make your lead character called Nameless? Why the fuck not? The man with no name. That worked. Somebody used it before. So, whatever. What's good, Artifort? Where's that other anime video, dude? What the fuck? You said number 5 was coming this weekend. I don't even see it. And I see Herb is in here. Look, I'm gonna give Herb some status. Herb, tell everybody in the chat room where you're at completion wise on your comic. See, Herb is a Scorpio too, and he's a Scorpio on that different side where he get testy, right? He's such a perfectionist. If you're not pushing him, you'll probably never see that shit. That's like me. I'll keep obsessing over it until it never fucking comes out. Oh, so you gonna put it up now, Artifort? Put the link in the chat, dude. Jesus Christ. You got a wrench? Tune it up. Tune up the chat, please. The fuck? And Herb, you got to get a picture, man. I'd love to get some of your feedback on some of my writing. Hey, Nameless, shoot me a sample. I'll shoot you a sample, because I did that with BJ. I sent BJ a sample of something I wrote for my intro for a book that I was working on. But you can send it to... I'm not going to put it in the chat because I just cleaned my email box. But Artisan1112@gmail.com. I'm not putting that shit in the chat. You need to remember that shit. My name without the MC, 1112@gmail.com. And send it there. I'll read it. I'll give you my feedback on it. It's just my opinion, so you can take it or leave it or value it or not value it. It don't matter to me. But I like reading good stuff, and in my life personally, I try to encourage brothers to do anything they're thinking of. Herb is in the chat. He can tell you right off the bat. If you tell me you're trying to do something, I will be the big foot in your ass making sure you get that shit done. I do that for any brother I know. It don't matter what the fuck it is you're doing. If you're doing something positive, get it done. If you're doing crime, motherfucker, be smarter so you don't get caught and go to jail. I try to be the player elevator. I'm not a hater. I'm an elevator. Help you step your game up and get that shit done. The Scorpio curse. Exactly, Nameless. That is the Scorpio's curse. Waters run deep, but sometimes we gotta rush. Or we get stagnated. At the video and stuff. Alright, Artifort, you look, I gotta edit videos too. I'm on here doing this and my phone is acting up and not charging correctly, so I gotta edit videos too. We all gotta edit videos. Why don't you just go live and talk about it? No problem, Nameless. You know, anything I can do to help somebody out, you know, within reason, because I ain't killing nobody with you, but I help bury the body. But I ain't doing the deed with you. Sorry. Some things I got to keep my hands clean of, you know. I'm trying to keep a little bit of the soul. So at least if I show up, we can, you know, debate. Finish the art, dialogue, separated. The panels, now I have to animate them with the sound, time consuming, but I'm on top of it. Herb, I don't know if you can get in trouble for that shit, but you need to throw a sample up. Maybe a panel. Well, no, don't do that shit. Don't do that. Never mind. Never mind what I was talking about. Don't do that shit. Because you'll probably get into some trouble. And I don't want you to get in trouble for that shit. But definitely finish her. You know where I'm at right now. You see me, I see you, Negro. Get that shit done. That should look awesome. I want to see that shit out there. And definitely contact Homeboy Gruvos. Because I think he'll talk to you. I'm pretty sure he'll talk to you. How about you show your stuff? Because I can't find your videos. I wonder why. Art of Fort. Get in my face when I tell you this, Negro. I'm working this Sunday. Okay? I don't usually work Sunday, but, you know, my white son asked for some help. I decided to help his ass out. If I wasn't, I'd be in storage, pulling my shit out just to show you. So this ain't no dick measuring contest at all. This ain't, you know, represent your geek, motherfucker. Let's see if your geek is bigger than mine. This ain't what that fucking shit is, okay? You started showing an anime collection. I have a big anime collection. Now, my anime collection is in storage, buried behind other shit. I have to spend the day to go to storage to take that shit out. It may not look like it. I'm kind of busy. So, I will get that shit just for you. That's the only reason I'm going to storage and digging that shit out is for you. Not because I feel like watching all of that shit. Not because I just needed to prove how much I got. I don't. I'm only doing it so you can see. Now, if you want to keep fucking with me about that shit, if you want to keep fucking with me about this shit, here, I'll show you something that'll really get you pissed off. Hold on. All right, now, this is my anime stuff that I have at work that I have not picked up. Vampire Hunter D, Blu-ray. Why? Because I have it in every other format. Now I got a Blu-ray copy. The shitty Ghost in the Shell, Blu-ray. I'm not buying the shit because I heard it online. I hate the fucking sound. Hopefully this one is better, but whatever. Classic movie, Scanners. If you've never seen fucking Scanners, I might do a Sunday binge. I might buy this tonight just so I can do a Sunday binge on it because Scanners is fucking awesome. If you ain't watched that shit, you need to find Scanners and watch Scanners. It's from the 80s, late 70s, I think. Now this is the one I want to show you, Artifort, just to piss you off. If you don't know what the hell this is, you got problems. I had a big anime collection, and it's too big for me to be trying to show off on a video every fucking episode. But since I don't have my kids ain't on here, they can't vouch for it. Ford's not here; he can't vouch for it. Who's seen it? But it's a big collection, dude. I've been buying anime since the 90s, 80s, the 80s, 90s. When I got my first job, I started buying anime. I had VHS all the way up to Blu-ray. I'm older than you. I've been buying a lot of shit. That's where geeks spend their money, motherfucker. Spend on all the shit that they like. Yeah, I know that Ghost in the Shell is crap, motherfucker. That's why it's still here. I ordered it and then I realized it was shit and I hadn't bought it. Alright. So we done with that. So, I know that one. So what else y'all got? If that's it, I'm gonna go ahead and close this shit out now. I appreciate you guys for coming through, and excuse me 1 second. Gotta get some things right. Get it right, get it right, get it right. There we go. All right. So, I gotta get ready for the con in 2 weeks. What, you trying to sell all that stuff at a con? You getting a table or some shit or what? Or are you making space because you about to buy up a bunch of shit at the con? Me personally, I wouldn't buy a bunch of anime at a con. We got SAC Anime happening up here in a week or so, Sacramento Anime Con, and that's going to be a pretty big one, but I ain't buying a bunch of anime there. The only thing I'll buy there is stuff that I can't find anywhere else, and to find out where the anime shops are around here, but that's it. Other than that, it's just going and hang out, but because it usually happens on a Saturday, I'll be at work, so if I go, it'll be a Sunday, and I get my girl to go. But it just depends. I don't do a lot of cons right now. The last one I did, I was actually working. I was working there. But, yeah, I just haven't. It keep pissing me off. At least in my area, this is the fucked up thing that keeps happening. More customers. Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah,
All right. You hear me talking? I'm live streaming on YouTube, so pay attention, don't pay attention. If you hear a motherfucker, it's just because the audience liked it. But I haven't done a lot of cons around here lately because they keep moving them. A lot of the cons, and the one I'm thinking of right now is a funny story that my buddy Tyler can tell. Maybe I'll get him to tell it on a shop talk. But a lot of the cons here are trying to get bigger, and then they move. They move down to Southern Cal. So the one we had up here was WonderCon. It moved down to Anaheim. Okay, and I remember going to that con. That was the first con I took my kids to, and it used to be in Oakland. It was in Oakland, moved to San Francisco, then they moved the shit down to Anaheim. So now we didn't have a big con up here. Then we had Big Wow down in San Jose, and Big Wow got merged into Silicon Valley Con, which was fronted by Stan Lee and Wozniak from Apple, and they turned it into Silicon Valley Con, and it's supposed to be like a San Diego Comic Con, but for Northern California. Okay, pretty big, kind of expensive. What's up, bro? Otherwise, up here you have a lot of smaller cons. You have Afro Comic Con, you have Sac Anime and stuff like that coming around. I go. I go if I go. You know, the funny part about me going to a con is, but if I show up to a convention, I probably know most of the people there because they come through the comic shop. So it's like I'm going there and still seeing the same people I'd see when I was at work anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. But I do like the vibe in a con, but with all the, I wouldn't say excess cosplayers, but all that extra shit going on, it's funny. I mean, I go now, especially the second anime. I'd go with my son and my granddaughter, because that'd be fun. Because my son is big into anime, and I can take credit for that shit. He watches more anime now than I ever did, because he's grown up on it. And he's usually the one I'm finding out about all the newer animes from, because he's watching it. He's digested it. He cutting videos. You can check him out online on YouTube, Flex510. And he does AMVs, which I taught his ass how to do. But he deep in the anime. But that's the closest con coming up, and maybe I'll do it on Sunday. It might be fun to take my girl. I don't think she's been to an anime con. Yeah, she probably hasn't. That'd be fun. She'd get into that shit too, because she got geek tendencies, which works lovely. It works wonderful for me. So, and the funny part about that, SYSBM, she ain't a sister. Latinas. So anyway, it's at about 2 hours. So if there ain't no more questions, I'm gonna get off of here because my food is really cold right now, and cold French toast don't taste too good. But my coffee is still hot. So some of the cons are usually overpriced. That's why I wait till the last day to go. I'll go on a Saturday to see what it is I want to buy, and I won't buy that shit till Sunday, the last 2 hours, because being somebody who has actually worked a con and then worked a booth at a con, the shop had a booth at a con before. That's a lot of setup. You don't feel like doing that shit. You do not feel like doing all that pack up when you brought all that stuff there for the last couple of days. You don't want to pack all that shit up. You want to sell it. That's the whole point of coming to a con. You pay so much for the spot. You pay so much for the table. You spend so much time packing this shit in the cars and trucks and boxes and shit like that to put it and set it up there and have somebody man it. You don't want to pack all that shit up. You want to sell everything. You do, because it's expensive. So it kind of sucks, but I'm a consumer. So I want a deal. A lot of times in the beginning, the prices are overpriced because they're trying to make up the money for that booth. But by the last day, they should have made their money back for the booth, for the space. They should have made that already in some profit. It ain't cost them shit to lose some money on some of the shit that was overpriced anyway. And most of the time nowadays, they all selling the same shit. How many pop figures, booths can you see? Jesus Christ. So, yeah. I'll wait till the last day. Do your early buying or early selection. And then last day, come in and clean their ass out. That's where you're going to get the best deal, I'm telling you. Somebody costs me a price. Amazon discount stores will buy them. Yeah. Amazon is eating everybody's ass. I think that's the next place I'm going to try to really plant my feet is at Amazon. You guys have a good one.
You too.
Amazon is eating everybody's ass. Like, everybody. They start selling fucking lumber and stuff like that. Everybody fucked. So, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for showing up. Hopefully you hit the like button. Hopefully you hit that Cash App sometimes. I will see you guys possibly next week. Let's see what I'm doing next week, because I gotta do some shit. But thanks for tuning in for this edition of the Shop Talk from the actual shop, California. And I'm gonna eat my food and drink my coffee and enjoy the rest of my day. So, PC guys, salute to the Double M, BGS, everybody for coming through, and I'll see you guys in these YouTube streets. Peace. Do, 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 do. Everything is everything for cheesy.